Today, I really need your help with something. I've been speaking with many NRIs, some of them who are permanently settled abroad, and others who are still unsure of where home really is. In this video, I'll share 3 of their stories, and I couldn't ask them to come on camera because they wouldn't have been comfortable with it, and I can't share their names, but I'll read out what they said to me. And I'm really hoping that you can help me help them. I often regret that my kids didn't get to grow up with their grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins in India. Instead, they've grown up in a bubble where friends have had to fill in as family, while their real family feels like strangers they see just once a year. This woman was brought up in India. Her grandparents lived in a different city, and her paternal grandmother was an incredible cook. The knowledge that creators like Luke Coutinho offer today, her grandmother just knew and applied to her cooking. She used to visit her grandparents during summer holidays, and even they came to visit her and stayed with them for weeks, going on holidays, and she was truly pampered by them. She has aunts and cousins who are like her friends. So she can speak on topics that she cannot even speak to with her parents or friends because they are too specific to the family dynamics. So that satisfies her needs. After all, who knows you and your family better than your siblings? In a nutshell, her growing up years included countless meetings with grandparents, siblings who didn't live with her, aunts, uncles, and with the number of festivals and occasions that take place in India, her household seemed like an organized, beautiful chaos where you can't predict who's coming or what's going to happen next, but nothing is a surprise. Since she was living in this sort of a communal setup, the days felt easy because you relied on different people for different things and needs were met collectively. Then she moved abroad after getting married and had children in addition to establishing herself professionally. Her household abroad and the cultural setup involves her and her husband doing a lot more and wearing many more hats in comparison to their parents. Her parents, so her children's grandparents, are not easily accessible to spoil them unless they come and live with them for several months. And her aunts and siblings are not available to help them out because they have their own lives in India. This means that children who grow up in another country are closer to their friends and they almost see their parents' social circle as their aunts and uncles because those who are related by blood are far away. So it's a distant relationship. This may be okay for her children because that's all they have known. But it's saddening for the parents because they compare it to that beautiful and intimate aspect of their lives, something that you take for granted as a young adult. Because, of course, that's common in India. It's normal. I'm going to see my aunts and uncles and siblings and grandparents on occasions or even outside of occasions, if at all I'm not living with them. I don't know what she should do because I've never been in that situation. It is easier to visit extended family in India, but I also feel that, let's say, my nieces in India and those abroad cannot be as close to each other as we were to our siblings. And I'm not talking about the ones who lived with us. Obviously, that has its own benefits. But those who lived in India, because we got to see them often, because nobody was going abroad at that time. My question is for NRIs who are in this situation. How do your children maintain closeness with your family back home? A few visits a year and occasional video calls are not the answers she's looking for. I wanted to bring my parents here, but they didn't want to apply for permanent residence. Deep down, I wish I had just followed my instincts and made it happen. This guy took up employment, and his wife was studying in a university, and later she found employment in a related field as well. They had never been abroad and they wanted to experience what it looks and feels like and make a decision on whether they want to settle or come back to India. They are still undecided, but they do have a permanent residence of that country. They keep visiting India, but the last 5 years have been difficult for all of us globally because of COVID. And there have been health and business setbacks everywhere. Obviously, we all want to lead healthy, abundant, and harmonious lives, however you define it. But the truth is that we don't all define it in the same way. I'm sure you would agree. Let's look at a day in the life of our parents, and I'm talking about the middle class. They are dealing with domestic helps. Then there are vendors who visit Indian homes regularly, a laundry guy, a vegetable vendor, a gardener. Then there are society folks whom they may have relationships with, or they may be going to social clubs. Depending on the nature of our fathers or our parents' jobs, they may have office staff, or if retired, they may be hanging out with another set of people. All of these people share life experiences, and there is a lot of understanding and comfort in the company they keep. Basically, they have a lot going on, and all these different social touch points mean that they are engaged. They are settled in their environment, they have help, they have people to talk to and to spend time with. They are leading lives that give them meaning, and they enjoy their day to day rhythm. You cannot uproot their life by assuming that they would be better off relocating to wherever you are just because you decided to live abroad. Yes, you are concerned about their health and you would like to see them more often. And yes, it is difficult for you to go back to India frequently. But everything is not about you. You may have created a life that you are happy living, but that doesn't mean that your parents will be content integrating into that setup. You are not all they need. Rebuilding their social life in their 60s and beyond is unthinkable. Sure, you can do it. But how satisfying is it to leave behind connections that you've been nurturing for most of your life? I would struggle to make even one new friend now. You don't own them, just like they cannot control how you live your life. NRIs in this situation, please share your view. How do your parents feel? Do they really want to move abroad? I regret not being able to spend quality time with my parents. They're also constantly growing and changing. And when you live apart, you naturally grow apart in many ways. 1 to 2 trips in a year cannot compensate. This I understand a lot more. You are living a life abroad which your parents may get a glimpse of when they visit, but visiting is different because it has a time limit. So your parents know that they'll go back to their lives in India and you will go back to managing your domestic and work life. Over time, you change as a person. The place, the people, the culture, the ideologies, it all changes you. And your parents are not there to witness that transformation. And they are also dealing with changes in their own lives. Less active work lives, struggles with aging, both mental and physical, things that nobody prepared them for. They are also new for them and they are trying to find ways to navigate that. So, yes, you inevitably grow apart. I feel when we are more settled in life and when life makes us more empathetic and present with people, we realize how little we know our parents, even if we've been listening to stories about them since childhood. We want to understand why our parents did what they did. What was the reason for the choices they made? How was their childhood? What were the experiences that shaped them? When we become more self aware, there is a very strong pull to understand your family and your ancestry in greater detail. And that's not easily possible if you're not available. This relationship needs your presence and for you to be around. But even if you have been distant, I really believe that you can somehow make it work because home always takes you back in. NRI folks, if you are in this situation, how are you making it work? Have you faced the same struggle? I'll end this video with a few lines from a friend who lives in Europe. For me, moving abroad was a dream, but dreams come with trade-offs. My biggest regret is not about money, because he bought a house for his parents and that took up a chunk of his savings. It's about time, time with family, time with culture, time you can never get back. If you like my reflections, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and do share this video. Thank you for watching.